I'm going to be referring to some notes because I wanted to cover as much as I am able in the time allotted to me. So I just want to start off by talking about the missions in Alta California. And when they were starting to be built, that was what California was called. There's a Baja California on the border of San Diego and Mexico. And then there's Alta California, which is now California. But there were 21 missions built along the coast of Alta California from San Diego, that was built in 1769, to San Francisco or Solano in 1823. So it was 54 years back in that frame of time that it took to build and connect all of these missions that were a day's journey apart. And on the screen, you see Junipero Serra, and he was the Franciscan priest that found the first mission in 1769. I'll just jump a little bit ahead. He was born in Spain, in Mallorca, Spain, and then came to Mexico, where he was appointed by the King of Spain to come up to Alta California to found or to build the missions. And what he did is he found the first mission in San Diego, went up to Carmel to found the second mission that became St. Charles Borromeo, or in Spanish, San Carlos Borromeo. And that became his headquarters. And when he died in August 28th of 1784, he is buried at St. Charles Borromeo. And let's see. Oh, and the reason that they went from San Diego to up to St. Charles Borromeo, or to Carmel, was to hold the Russians from coming down to claim California. And that was primarily, if we stroll up to see the goals of the mission, you will see that the two primary goals were religious and military. And as I mentioned, the King of Spain appointed Father Junipero Serra to build the missions and claim Alta California for Spain. So 2 missionaries, which were called padres in Spanish, and 6 soldiers traveled out of Mexico into uncharted territory. And the padres converted the Indians to Catholicism, and the soldiers protected the missionaries, helped build the missions, establish Spain's claim to Alta California, now called California. And it actually kept 2 rivals, the Russians and Great Britain, from claiming the new frontier in the West. And so if we jump over to the map, you'll see that the missions are in geographical order. So they go from the south all the way up north. So the 2 main cities that you see highlighted are San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. But even though they are along the coast of California, they are not in chronological order, because the missionaries went up and down the coast of Alta California to be able to found the missions. So they skipped around. And so if we go over to the map, where let's see, the other map that shows the missions with numbers.
Hold on a second.
Okay. It's the map that has the missions with the numbers, not the brands.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, there we go. All right, so you see that number one is at the very bottom, and that's San Diego. And if you go up, you'll see number two, which I mentioned became Father Sarah's headquarters, St. Charles Borromeo. But then they come down to San Antonio, and then they come down again south to San Gabriel. Then they go back up to number five, San Luis Obispo, and then let's see, number six, St. Francis of Assisi, and then they come all the way back down to San Juan Capistrano, number seven. And I'm going to share a few personal notes on San Juan Capistrano because I had the good fortune to be a tour guide there for 5 years until COVID hit last year. And then I was furloughed, and then they didn't hire me back only because of budget situations. But San Juan Capistrano is considered the jewel of the missions because of the beauty, the gardens, and just the way that it shows to the rest of the world. It was built in 1776, as you can see on the map, and it also coincides with the independence of the United States. So the mission San Juan Capistrano is as old as the United States of America. It is the number 200 landmark in California, and that's very important. It is also one of the only mission that had a great stone church that was built in 1797. It took them 9 years to build it, and it was all stone. You'll see a picture of it when we go over there, or when we see the pictures. But it only lasted 6 years, and then it fell and collapsed during the earthquake of 1812. But it's also one of the reasons that it's so unique in history is because this is the only mission where Father Sarah said Mass or celebrated the Mass. But it's also known for the swallows that come in every single year, regardless. And they've been coming to San Juan Capistrano all the way from Goya, Argentina. And so they travel 6,000 miles up every year to nest, which means that they come up to Capistrano, lay their eggs, and then they have new babies, new swallows, and then they take those swallows back to Capistrano. And if you can imagine these little teeny tiny birds, and they are very small, they're only about 5 inches, and they go all the way back to Goya, Argentina. And it's known that they fly about 600 miles a day. They feed on insects and bugs. Okay, so let's jump over to the missions, and we're going to go down through the missions to just show you not only the small picture that Kenneth helped me create. So thank you so much, Kenneth. I have to give you credit for this because he's my techie guy. So the first one, and you can practice even though you're muted, you can practice on your own. I will say the name of the mission, the year that it was built, and then you can practice on your own. So this is, and I'm only going to say the short version of the mission. So this is Mission San Juan, Mission San Diego, the first mission in 1769. And then the next mission is the St. Charles Borromeo, in Spanish, San Carlos Borromeo, built in 1770. Then the next mission is Mission San Antonio, built in 1771. Mission San Gabriel, built in 1771. And I have a unique little blurb, as I always call these little sidebars. I went to, my parents immigrated from Mexico, and I came here when I was very young, probably around 4 or 5 years old. And then when my parents became citizens, I became a citizen under their umbrella. But I attended St. Gabriel Mission when I was in the third and fourth grade. And about maybe 5, 10, no, maybe about 10 years ago, I went to visit, and what I thought was a huge mission was really tiny. You know, when we're young, or when we're young, very young, we see things so big, and this mission was so small now that when I went back to see it. Okay, that's my little sidebar. Okay, so the next one is Mission San Luis Obispo, and this was built in 1772. All of the missions, by the way, are in a square, in a quadrangle, because they had usually one main entrance for the soldiers or the people to come in and out, and they were built to protect the inside, which is where a lot of the activity was during the time that the mission was thriving and getting to grow. Okay. So the next mission is Mission San Francisco, and actually it's called, it is known more Mission Dolores, and that was built in 1776. And why is that important? Anybody can tell me? Anybody can see the same date? What other mission was built in 1776, as old as the United States? Shout it out. Anybody?
Check your maps. You
Okay.
have your maps.
Give you a hint. I was a tour guide there. 1776 is the same year as the independence of the United States, and it was San Juan Capistrano, same date. Okay, next mission is San Juan Capistrano, and this is where I worked. So in the picture that you see is on the left, you can barely see, but in the background there's a picture, there's a statue of Saint Sarah. And by the way, he was canonized a saint in 2015. Before that, he was known as Father Sarah. And then to the left of the statue are 4 little niches, and those are the bells that were in the Great Stone Church before it collapsed. So then you can see the bells now on the bottom right-hand side, and those were the bells that were in the Great Stone Church. They also had names, and I can only remember three of the names. The largest from the right is San Juan, San Vicente, San Rafael, and something else. The little one, I can't remember it. And the Great Stone Church is where the couple is inside, and in the background, the big dome is where the altar was. This was a huge church, and it was all made of stone, and that's why it was called the Great Stone Church. Okay, next picture. Okay, so this is really interesting. Not only do you see the names of the missions along the coast of California, but you can see the little circles in there. And I'm going to show you what the little circle in for San Juan Capistrano means. So if you can show the, okay, see on the left hand, very good, CAP. So that is the cattle brand of that was used by Capistrano for all of their livestock. And each mission had a brand. And so when I was over at the mission recently, I took a picture of the brands, and you can see my reflection on the glass. But it shows all of the Alta California missions, the cattle brands, starting from the one on the upper left hand, which is San Diego, and it's in the order of the founding of the missions. So if you go across the first line, you'll see all of the missions in order, and then the second column would be the all of the rest of the missions. Okay, so those. So if we go back to the map, Ken. Okay, so each mission had a different brand, and so this is what those little circles mean. When I first saw this map, I said, "What are those circles?" And then I realized what Capistrano had, and then I made the connection with a CAP, meaning Capistrano. Okay, so let's go to the next mission. I hope you guys are practicing what I'm saying. Okay, Mission Santa Clara, built 1777. Okay, the next mission. Mission San Buenaventura, built in 1782. So you see the mission on the left-hand side, and then the chapel or the church in the on the right-hand side. And the next mission. Okay, Mission Santa Barbara, built in 1786. And this is also one of the more beautiful missions. I've been up there several times, and I had a friend of mine that got married up there in Santa Barbara, inside of the church. And it is a beautiful mission right on the coast of California. Okay, next mission. Mission La Purísima. This is the only mission that is in a form of an L rather than a square or the quadrangle. And it is also the only mission that is publicly owned by the state of California. All of the other missions are independent and nonprofit, just like Capistrano. So they depend on donations, fundraisers, special events, and so forth for their livelihood or for sustaining the mission. But La Purísima is maintained by the state of California. Okay, next mission. Santa Cruz, Mission Santa Cruz, built in 1791. And I can remember that mission because back in 1987, maybe before some of you were born, I don't know, I can't do my math right now. But I told you I was a teacher, but I taught phys ed, so it was a lot of sports. I took a group up to San Francisco, and then we cycled back down to San Diego, and we stopped off at the Mission Santa Cruz and were given the gym. And so we just spread our backpacks down, our sleeping bags, and spent the night in the Mission Santa Cruz on our way down to San Diego. Okay, next mission. These are all little sidebars I thought you might be interested in. Okay, this is totally Spanish. Mission Nuestra Señora de Soledad, built in 1791. A very plain church. Okay, next picture. Mission San Jose. Notice the architecture. The architecture in most of the missions were made out of adobe. Notice in the foreground, it looks like there's a well right in front of the mission. So there was always very important location for each of the missions, like in, well, real estate up here in America is location, location, location. The second important for the missions was water. So we had to make sure that we had water. Okay, the next mission, please. All right, so this is Mission San Juan Bautista, built in 1797. Okay, next mission. Mission San Miguel, built in 1797. Next mission. Mission San Fernando. Oh, San Fernando. That was where I finished, not that particular mission, but in the city of San Fernando, California, I finished my teaching career at San Fernando High School. And the mission was about 3 blocks away from the high school. So it was it is a very dear location for me. Okay, next picture. Mission San Luis Rey, built in 1798. Next picture. Mission Santa Ynez, built in 1804. Next picture. Mission San Rafael, built in 1817, with a statue of Father Sarah in the front. Next picture. Mission San Francisco, and I'm going to say the next word, Solano, in 1823, which happens to be the last mission that was built in California, 1823. So between 1769 and 1823, 54 years to build 21 missions along the coast of California. So from here, I'm going to just review, or excuse me, talk a little bit more about the missions, as you can see on the map. So even though there was the religious and the military aspect of coming up to California or Alta California to claim it for Spain, there were many positive influences that the missionaries brought, but also some negative ones. And the missionary and the soldiers brought the diseases that some of the natives were not immune to, such as smallpox and flu. And unfortunately, the population was drastically influenced and went from 300,000 to 200,000 by 1834. And that's 85 years from the first time that they came up to Alta California to build the first mission. That was in 1769. So during those 85 years, the population of the Native American Indians along the coast was almost decimated. So I mention that because not only were there positive, but also the negative, and I want to, mention that. So let me briefly explain the difference between between Great Britain and Spain coming into the New World. The British brought settlers, so they already had the people that were going to be put into the New World. Spain did it differently. Spain came into Alta California and then made the the natives citizens of Spain. So it was a totally different way of colonizing the New World. And as the missions prospered, and the last point on the goals was that the King of Spain supported each mission for 5 years until each mission was self-sustained. So during this period of establishing the missions prospered, and Mexico wanted to take them over. So after Mexico declared its independence from Spain, they took over the missions and expelled the padres, or the priests, from the missions. And then it was and so then all of the missions became the property of Mexico. And it wasn't until President Lincoln gave back the missions to the Catholic Church just a few months before his assassination. So each mission is now in an independent entity, and it is self-supporting. I know as a worker or having worked at Mission San Juan, there were many events. We had concerts. We had certainly the biggest event of the mission was the celebration of the return of the swallows. So I've already covered the cattle brands because the missions owned not only the land, but the cattle and much agriculture. One of the things that I did mention about San Juan is that became the first mission that started to produce wine. Father Sarah wanted wine, and so he sent an emissary to the Viceroy of Mexico City and requested that the Viceroy send some seedlings and actually some I don't know what they're called, plants, I guess, for growing wine. I mean, growing grapes. And then Mission San Juan Capistrano became famous for the wines that it produced. And it had a wine pit where the wine crushers would jump in, crush the grapes, and then the juice would flow out into another pit outside of the room. And then that's where they would barrel the juice and then ferment it and make it into wine. So it became very famous for the wines that it produced. Ken, how am I doing on time? I forgot to time myself.
It's all right. You can just keep going.
Okay. So I just wanted to, let's refer back to the map that has the dates. That one. Okay. And you can also look at the chart if you want to refer to some of the questions that I have here. Okay. So I want to ask the students, this is the interactive portion of the lesson. How many missions were built in 1797? Jump in if anybody has the answer. So you can look at that chart or show them the other chart, Kenneth.
Time to wake up.
Well, I hope what do you mean, Mirna? They're
No?
not even. Okay,
No.
this is a good chart here. So how many missions were built in 1797?
4.
4, very good. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, all right. How about how many were built in 1804? And what is the mission? The name of the mission?
1.
Okay, 1. And what's the name of it? Even if you mispronounce it, because sometimes I mispronounce them too, because they're all Spanish names.
We all learning here.
Yes. So what's the name of the mission?
Santa, I can't.
It's okay. You're doing good, Santa.
Good.
It is.
Inez, good.
Good. Okay, good enough. Okay, and then how many were built in 1776?
2.
2. Okay, name one of them. Anybody? Name one of the missions that was built in 1776.
It's okay. Don't be shy.
Come on, you guys. You know which ones they are. There's 2 of them.
Yeah, just read it. 你们
Yeah.
念错没关系啊。
Yeah.
你们要试着讲。
Mission San Francisco de
Very good.
Arces.
Yeah,
Yes.
Good. Bingo.
very good. Okay, you guys are doing good. Okay, all right. So, which is the which is the I was going to say the. All right, I'm just going to say which is the first mission, and you can see that by the number. And when was it built?
Somebody else.
Come on, you guys.
Somebody else. Try.
I chose the easy one because that's a very popular city in Southern California.
Mission San Diego de Acala.
Very good. Hey,
Good. Somebody likes English and Spanish. What year?
yeah, yeah. Okay, and let's see. Going to have one more. What is the? Excuse me. Okay. Okay, we said 1771. Okay, how about? Oh, I know. Number 11. What shape of that mission, or what is the shape of that mission? Remember, I said that's the only one that was.
The shape of.
She, old man. Mirna, I tell you, I love it. I love it. Give me another hint. Hint.
Kind of.
Well, Irene is doing it too. It's in the form of
Why
a-
not this? I know, but this is kind of.
It's in the form of a letter.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
Somebody. You guys have it.
And it's between the K and the M. What a better hint. Come on, you guys.
How about everybody turn on their microphone and we say the letter.
Yeah.
No, as a matter of fact, they can all type the same letter. It's easy.
Yeah.
I want everybody to get this point.
Yes.
Everybody to rather easy. Besides this Essen 哈 ，Essen 那个郑怎么博不会念中文，这个中
燕
燕呐哦，OK， very good。
Okay. All right. So it was in the form of an L, if you didn't get it, La Purísima, but it's also the one that is owned by the state of California. All right. So I'm going to ask just a ended question. What was the most interesting thing that you learned from this lesson? Anybody? Oh, I see a smiling face in there. What is this guy's name over here with the glasses?
Shu.
Oh, no, the other, not David.
Is Shu Ryu Hon?
I only see them in
I
Taiwan.
see his glasses. Yes.
Yes, yes, that one. Without yes. Okay, so what was the most interesting thing that you learned in this lesson? Anybody?
You
mean
guys learn anything?
You didn't like it? You didn't like my lesson?
Did you guys learn anything?
Right. After all these hours and hours and hours. Oh.
No. Well, Ansel got a lot of good answers. Xiao Yin, thank you also.
Oh, are they putting it on the chat? No, I don't see any chat.
No. Anybody else?
Let's see. No, I don't see any chats in there. I'm crushed.
Oh, no, no.
Okay, you guys, it was really great to give you this information on the missions in California, and I do hope that you learned something because I've only visited a few of the missions, and it has never been my goal to visit all 21. We had people come in to San Juan Capistrano from literally all over the world, from all over the world, come to visit the mission. And this is how important the missions are to people that come visit California. And some of them came by and said, "Oh, this is my da 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 mission," and they would make it a goal to see all 21 missions. And so they would start wherever they would start. It didn't matter. Um, but they really enjoyed the fact that they were able to visit the missions and get a flavor of how the missions impacted California. So much so that California was at one time part of Mexico. So of course, there's a lot of Mexican, Spanish, and Mexican influence in California. And not to say anything, but my favorite food is
Mexican.
Mexican.
We'll have some food for you guys.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Does anybody have questions for Sylvia?
You guys have any questions? 有没有什么问题想问的？
I really learned a lot from you, Sylvia. I've been in California for 30 years. I've never visited this. Shame on me. We should come up to Dana Point and look for you and then get a free tour.
Yes.
Well, that's where I work now. But Kenneth, thank you so much. I so appreciate
Thank
it.
you. You guys wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess we can take a 5-minute break, or you guys want a 10-minute break? 你们要5分钟还是10分钟？